Hey, I'm Christina Perri. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. I can't wait to answer them. And special thanks to Romeo for having me on his show. Here we go. First question. Mia from Germany says, what is your favorite joke? Okay, there's a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead, and they are shopping at the grocery store. And a guy walks in, a robber, and he says, everybody on the ground, this is a holdup. And so everybody goes on the ground, except the three girls. They see these three potato sacks. And so they jump into them, but they're moving around. So the robber comes over and he sees them moving, and he goes over to the brunette one and he kicks it, and she goes woof woof, and he goes, oh, it's just some puppies. And then he goes over to the redhead and he kicks it, and she goes meow, and he goes, oh, it's just some kittens. And then he goes over to the blonde one and he kicks it, and she goes potatoes. That's my favorite joke. Nick from Indiana, who inspires you? Let's see, in real life, that would be my mom and my grandmother and my dad and my brother are probably my biggest inspirations. But in music, I would say Dean Martin and Connie Francis. They are my favorite voices, and they are love song singers, which I am a love song singer, and that's my favorite. Okay? Lauren from Aruba, what's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten? You know, I've gotten a lot of really great advice from friends, but I think the one that sticks with me the most is someone said to me once that I am enough just the way that I am. And I like to think that exact sentence right before I go on stage, and then I'm not as afraid. Okay. Jane from Allentown, what was the last movie you saw in theaters? Oh, that is a good question. Last movie I saw in the theater, don't remember, I'm scared. Okay. Brant from New Jersey, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? Ooh, for sure, if I had a superpower, it would be time travel. I would love to stop time in really awesome moments, like eating chocolate cake, and then pause, enjoy that, take a nap for like 3 days, and then like go back to real life. Okay. Justin from Needles, California. What were your emotions when you met a penguin? Well, to be totally honest, I was in shock. And if you watch that video, the minute the penguin came out, I went straight into the corner and kind of bent down into like the fetal position. So I think that was my initial reaction, was complete shock. And then I wanted to cry, but I was in front of like 50 people, so I tried really hard not to. And then I was just really happy because I love penguins the most. It was wonderful. Okay. Next. Katie from Newark says, do you have a special place where you put all your fan gifts? Well, at the moment, they're all living on my bus in my lounge, so I have a whole corner, and every show, it just keeps growing and growing because everybody is so sweet and kind and brings me all sorts of things, paintings and penguin things and salt shakers and CDs and all different stuff. So right now it's with me, but I do have a storage space at home and bins and bins and bins of penguin stuff. So whenever I get a fan gift, you should know I keep it. Okay. Lauren from Cyprus says, what's your favorite thing about being on tour again? Good question. Favorite thing is probably definitely the show. I feel like I worked on this album for a year and 78 days, and it just feels really great to finally, bring these songs to life. Also, I love my band and my crew so much, so all the little silly moments in between all the shows are my favorite. Okay, next. Katie from Ashburn, what's your go-to polish color? Well, Katie, nothing is my go-to polish color because I play the guitar, and every time I paint my nails, they chip no matter what, even if I use gels. So when I'm touring, I tend to go for the buffer. Okay. Michelle from Decatur, if you could eat any kind of junk food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Clearly cheeseburgers, Michelle. Definitely. Carly from Edmonton, how long did it take you and Ed Sheeran to write Be My Forever? Well, Carly, me and Ed Sheeran didn't write Be My Forever. I wrote that song with a guy named Jamie Scott in January of 2013, and 9 months later, in August, Ed came to the studio and recorded his part with me in one take. So very quickly when we finally got to recording it. It was very fun. Jesse from Georgia. Is it intimidating being a role model for young girls? You know, Jesse, I don't think about it. I just continue to try to be me every day, and I'm definitely not perfect. I definitely have bad days like everybody else, but, you know, I feel like if I'm authentic and true and honest and people appreciate that, then that's awesome. Emily from Los Angeles. Who's someone you wished worked on this album with you? Well, the good news is, Emily, that I don't wish anything different about this album. I'm very satisfied and happy with everyone who did work on it and with every song. But as an artist, you know, I think about collaborating all the time with different people. So I definitely want to work with Chris Martin. I'd love to work with Haley from Paramore. I would love to work with, you know, Paul McCartney. Who knows? Samantha from Indianapolis, what's your favorite song to perform? Definitely Jar of Hearts, because I can't even describe to you the feeling in the room when that happens, and I continue to get reminded of how grateful I am. So, for sure. Maria from Bucharest, do you like touring or recording more? Whew, that is a good question. They are very, very different. I like writing, I think, the most, and then touring, and then recording. I think in that order. But I do realize that all three are very important. May I have a Walter? Cameron from Winnipeg says, do you consider yourself a shy person? Actually, Cameron, yes, I do. I have to really get out of my comfort zone every now and then, and I think that I keep growing and opening up a little bit more every year, but I definitely, 4 years ago, was way too shy to do this for a living, and then I just learned how in front of everyone. But I have like super, super shy moments still all the time. Letty from Louisiana, what's the hardest subject for you in school? Letty, that would be math. Not my favorite, was never really good at it, and kind of still am not that great at it, and use my iPhone all the time for the calculator. Emily from Brazil. Have you ever seen someone have a tattoo of either you or some of your song lyrics? Actually, Emily, yes. Especially on this tour. I've been signing a lot of arms and wrists and forearms, and people have been going and getting tattooed on this tour for sure. But I also, and all the meet and greets, see the people who have my lyrics tattooed on them, and I think that's really cool. I'm definitely honored to be a part of that. Sarah from Dublin. Is this Sarah Dooley? What song is stuck in your head right now? Ooh, good question. A Birdie song, actually. Use your words as a weapon. Because I hear it every day, and I love her. Okay. Ashley from North Olmsted. What was the inspiration behind your song Human? Human is about self-forgiveness. It's very simple. I was going through a hard time, and I needed that song in my life at that moment to get through something so that I could try again. And that's what the song did for me, so hope it does that for you too. Julia from Sweden. What's one of your most memorable fan moments? I probably have a lot of those. Most recently would be a fan who I like to call P Nasty was dressed as a penguin at my Washington, D.C. show. And that's something that I won't forget, because everyone knows I love penguins, but that's a commitment to be dressed as one for a whole concert. So she wins for sure. Okay. Jungwoo from Los Alamitos. What are some necessities when you're on tour and traveling? That's a great question. For me, my number one necessity is my penguin pillow. I cannot sleep without it. Then I also, you need to be really kind of low maintenance in a way, where you gotta have everything downsized. So I have like one caboodle with my toiletries, one bag with my clothes, one bag with like my workout stuff, one backpack with all my electronics, and then that's it. And like I go from the bus to the venue, to the bus to the venue, to the bus to the venue with those things that I can all carry at one time. And you know, lots of backups, like, you know, extra shampoo and extra face wash, extra soap. Gosh, if you just think about being on tour for 2 months, you have to think about what you need for 2 months that you cannot go out and get. So you got to bring it all with you. It's pretty awesome, actually, to get to do that. Okay. Sierra from Selma, why are penguins the animal you're obsessed with? Well, Sierra, I don't really know the answer to that question. I just know how I feel when I see one. I love them more than any other animal. French bulldogs are a close second, but I just loved penguins my whole life, and then I wrote a song called Penguin, and then my fans started calling themselves penguins, so I'm just all sorts of emotionally attached to penguins now, and I probably will be for forever. Michael from Oswego, how did you and Ed Sheeran link up? Well, we became friends in like 2011. We met each other in London, and we've been friends since, and have hung out a couple of times, and I called him up and asked him to do this song, Be My Forever, and he liked it, and came to the studio, recorded it, and that was it. It was so magical, and the stars lined up, and I'm very grateful. Lauren from Nashville, what are your favorite songs to run or work out to? That's a good question. Soul Cycle, that's what I do every day. It's a bike where I spin and also do arm workouts too at the same time. And I have an iPod that is filled with songs from my favorite instructor, mostly mashups and you know, up-tempo jams for sure, lots of EDM and you know, really cool things like Katy Perry and Queen mashed together, or the Beatles and Trent Reznor mashed together, or, you know, I have this really cool mix of Bruno Mars and Usher and Lil Wayne and I don't know, all different people. Definitely really, really, really good music that pumps you up is a must for working out to music. Okay, Michaela from Tustin, do you have any advice for aspiring singers? Yes, Michaela, don't give up. It's very, very easy to do that. So I feel like most people give up, and that's why you should be the one that doesn't. I dare you to do that.